Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
It's time to power up.
Autobots, roll out! Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Alright, everyone, welcome to another episode of Dungeon Crawlers, where Varen is missing.
Did he get eaten?
I don't know.
He was eaten.
All I know is he went for a Big Mac, turned the corner, and disappeared.
Well, it is the Halloween season.
There was no flash of light, there was no growl, there was nothing, he was just gone.
Was there a num num?
Maybe, I don't know.
Manam.
Do 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 do.
We'll have to see. But maybe he'll come back. Maybe whatever ate him will spit him out, or maybe he'll...
You know, this
dig his
reminds
way
me
out.
of a Varen story, especially considering what we're talking about.
A Varen story.
Oh dear! Am I gonna turn bright red again?
So, Varen and I, when we were back in high school, we decided to go on a double date, and we were going to do what's called a grandpa's date, which basically, it's digging up grandpa date. Basically, what you do is you take your dates and you go out to like a field or some kind of
What kind of Addams Family crap is this?
you gotta listen. You go out to some weird place and you're like, my grandpa helped found this city, and actually I think he's buried somewhere around here. We don't really have a plan for this date, so we should probably do something fun like, hey, here's shovels. We can play dig up grandpa. And so you just start digging random holes. And the girls that you're with are looking at you like, these people are insane. Or they're looking at you like, they're digging a hole. They're going to kill us. And now that I'm looking back on it, I'm actually kind of amazed that the girls we were on a date with actually stuck around. Anyway, so we were digging this hole, and all of a sudden you get thunk. You hit something hard. Thunk, thunk. You're like, what's that? And the girls start freaking out. Oh, I don't know. We got to get out of here. And you keep thunk, thunk, thunk. And you start digging it out, and you lift up this old-looking piece of wood, and you pull it out, and you reach down into the darkness, and you pull out dinner. And then you eat dinner on this little blanket that was in the hole that you prepared from earlier in the day. And Varen and I did this once. And we actually had, buried the cooler and the blanket and all the candles. And it was like, really fun. And the girls had a lot of fun. At least if they didn't, they never told us that they didn't. I believe it was one of the most unique dates they'd ever been on. But when we were going out into this weird abandoned area, we're walking down this creepy area. It's dark. And Varen's looking around. And he's like, Scott, are you feeling a little creeped out right now? Because it was just him and I. And I said, yeah, man. This is right about the time when vampires would attack. And Varen says, no, Scott, this is about the time that someone would come out and rob us. Why are you afraid of vampires? I'm like, because vampires are more scary, man. They fly. Humans, we just punch a human. You can't just, punch a vampire. So anyway, that's why it reminds me of today. And that's a Varen story.
Wow. So...
Yes?
Mackenzie's like, I never want to go on a date with you, ever.
I don't
You take me out to the middle of a field, I'm running.
No, I'm cutting up something that's between your legs.
Here's a shovel. Let's dig a hole.
Wow.
I take the shovel and I'd whack you upside the head.
Yeah, because if I'm going on a date with you, then all of a sudden I'm cheating. That's not a good thing.
Well,
So
I'm not
I
talking
deserve
about
it.
If you were single, that would, I don't know. I would never pull that one off. Definitely not.
Well, in high school, it seemed to work very well.
Did you eat paint chips as a kid?
Why?
That would explain everything.
So, folks, we're going to talk about the king of monsters.
I think that's Scott.
I am the monster.
No. So this is going to be kind of a fun episode where there's only three of us. I wish Varen was here so we could jump in.
I can't get that picture out of my head.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
We can always have a show
Hey,
where we talk
we can
about
always
more
start
Baron.
talking about like cinnamon nuts.
you
Got it out of your
bastard!
got it out of your head, didn't it?
No, because now I'm thinking of cinnamon.
Oh wow! Never mind. All right, cinnamon nuts in a hole. Alrighty, so
What? Was there another
she's
inside
out of
joke
here.
that I?
She's out of here.
We're gonna get the snort in a second.
Yeah, probably. So, king of all monsters. Who do you believe is the king of all monsters? We'll probably have. Well, each of us will say who we believe should be and why. So, if Mackenzie can stop laughing, maybe she'll throw in her vote.
Now hold on. Are we talking about like more of supernatural creature monsters, like lower level type entities that are basically just
I'm
like
saying
Sasquatch?
Whatever you feel like is
Or are
like
we
the
talking like-
ultimate monster.
Oh my gosh.
Any horror movie,
Well, I think that really
story.
depends, because also are we talking about god or demigod like deities such as Cthulhu
I think you're
or?
thinking about this a little too much and should just say what's on your mind.
Everything fits.
Well, no, because he can't just say werewolf and all of a sudden someone
Uh-uh,
whips out their
not
Cthulhu and
were-
all of a sudden you're like, oh well,
Not
splat.
werewolf, Wolfman.
Well, no, this is your opinion. This is why you believe this is the ultimate monster and the best monster or best monster that is a villain
Oh,
out
my
there.
eyes
and
are
why?
watering. Ugh. Maybe Swamp Thing came by.
Maybe. So,
Oh, come on, that was golden.
it was. Like your crown. So,
I'm thinking.
do you want to start this off then?
You mean if I can keep it together?
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Oh, that's debatable. I don't know, because do you know what movie like severely creeped me out when I was a kid?
What?
The Mummy. Not the Brendan Fraser one.
The original Mummy.
The original,
Yeah.
the 1930s, 1920s Mummy.
Which it should have. Those older movies are fantastic.
See, and I love movies like that, like with Frankenstein's monster and Wolfman and Dracula.
Yeah. Well, and those movies are done really well, even though they are black and white and older movies.
But here's the
and there's
thing
not a
about
lot
the
of
black
special
and white. The black
effects.
and white adds to the creep factor,
It
I
does,
think.
because there's not a lot of. You can't see the colors. There's a lot of more shading, and there's a lot of areas that things can hide in and jump out. Your mind plays tricks on you. And
that's
not only
part
that,
of the
they were very
psychology.
creative
They were.
with their camera angles and things like that, because they were wearing a suit half the time, and you had to
And same thing
hide
with
things.
the Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know the makeup is crap at that reveal, but that movie's severely creepy, man.
Okay. So, who is the ultimate monster, though, in your mind?
The ultimate monster in my mind. Ooh. I don't know, because if you had asked me this a couple of years ago, I would have said vampire, but then Twilight came along.
That's okay. We can you just
And neutered the vampires. You can always say a
Pretty
specific
much.
type
But,
of vampire.
you know,
Pretty much.
not only that. Twilight.
You can't
See,
even
I can't
say
even
it.
say it. I hate it so much. Doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
For purposes' sake, because they sparkle, they're not a monster. They're a disco ball. So,
But you know which movie that I actually really love that is kind of like a horror, which, gasp, Kenzie says horror. I actually really love the Benicio del Toro Wolfman.
okay. So, you think the Wolfman
I
is the
do.
ultimate monster?
Yes, I do, because here's the thing. It kind of gets into the psychological head, because which is the monster? The man who can't control it, or the man who is controlled by it?
Okay.
Can we say man as a monster? Because that seems to be like...
That doesn't count.
Okay, just making sure I can rule that out.
Yep. Rule that out.
Selections.
We're not ants. We're not worried about getting stepped on.
So, but yeah, because now I know it gets a lot of hate, but I actually really love that movie. I think it's
Okay.
extremely well done.
So, the Wolfman is Mackenzie's vote here. All right.
But again, it's not because he's scary, it's because the psychological factor scares me more than
That's
the actual
fine.
monster.
That's fine. And that is a good reason for it to do
But
so.
here's the thing, it has to be the extended unrated cut. Otherwise, it's crap.
All right. So, Scott, what is yours?
Do 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 do
Actually,
do
it
do.
should be Jeopardy's theme song. Do, 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 because he's still thinking.
Nah, I was going for more of the Twilight Zone to see if we could get
I
him
don't know,
to
because we were
pull it out.
talking like against other monsters, or we're talking like
No, who in your opinion? It's not like your monster against hers. It's just who in your opinion is the king of all monsters. What monster?
Mine would still
is
eat you.
just your favorite that just stands
I would have
above
to.
all time.
Okay. Oh, well, my favorite. Well, that's different.
Well, I would assume
believe
that
the phrase
king
is
of-
semantics.
the most powerful, the one.
doesn't
that
have
I
to be
think-
powerful. It's just
Okay,
whatever
do you
one
want me
is-
to answer or
Yes,
not, Daniel?
yes,
Because
go ahead.
I'm trying to answer,
ahead.
and you keep changing my answer because you changed the parameters of the question. I'd probably have to say the king for me would be Stephen King's It.
It.
From the book, neither of the movies. Not Tim Curry. I feel like he did an excellent rendition of it, but the It in the books was literally something that feasted on the world. It feasted on people from the world, and
Yeah.
they were its food source. It was in their minds. It was both ethereal and physical. It was. It could manifest itself as anything in their minds and their imaginations, and it was powerful. It was power beyond power, really.
Yeah.
And yet, it also had it also had elements in its creation, in its personality, similar to the Christianity belief of Satan. It had other deities in its beliefs. Like it was basically, it was evil wrapped up in a clown suit,
Yeah.
and it was evil for evil's sake. It wasn't hunting for any reason other than, like, it didn't need to scare. It didn't need to eat flesh. It did it because it salted the meat, and it was basically fun.
Ew.
Well, I do like that character. Definitely. I did go back and watch the miniseries after watching the movie, and the miniseries has lost its charm and its scare factor.
Hold on, which one? Like the first part of the miniseries or the second
The
part?
Tim Curry, the whole
Oh
thing.
wow, maybe I shouldn't go back and rewatch it because it's still.
Watching the new Pennywise, and then looking at the Tim Curry Pennywise, he seems more hokey to
Comical.
me. Yeah, he seems a lot more comical, even though, and it's not really his acting, because his acting is spot on. It's the fact that he looks way too much like Bozo the Clown, where the new Pennywise looks menacing. He doesn't look like a
He looks
friendly
ancient.
clown.
He looks ancient.
He looks old. He looks terrifying. Just the way his head tilts and the way he looks at you. When you look at, I can still see way too much Tim Curry. It's like Tim Curry and Bozo the Clown had a baby, and that's Pennywise.
Yeah.
I'm not
But-
going to be able to sleep tonight.
But again, remember, I'm not saying anything about the two movie
Yeah.
Pennywises.
No,
the
as
two
far
movie
as
renditions.
the character in the book, yes. I mean, really, it is. It is a demon beyond belief, and honestly, the way Stephen King portrays it is all of the evil entities that all the religions are based around is based off that character.
Why would you have to put that picture in my head? Because now I can't get it out.
Just think of Tim Curry. Is your refrigerator running? Then you better go get it. Sorry, I see that and I just.
I don't get it.
Just watch Clue again. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Go ahead and watch the old miniseries.
Yeah.
It's more funny
Are
than
you ready
scary.
for this? I don't know if I've ever seen Clue all the way through.
What? Wow.
I think I've
That's
actually worn
so
out my.
sad.
I think I've worn out my DVD. That's a DVD. You know how hard it
yeah.
is to wear those out.
Anyways.
What's a DVD?
Okay, moving on because otherwise.
Yes,
we're gonna
Daniel.
be-
What is your king of all monsters?
Y'all walked into that one.
I
I'm
did.
sorry.
So it's really tough classifying monsters, like you guys have already experienced. But mine, I would have to say, is Dracula.
Now, which Dracula?
Dracula.
Like Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Just yeah, I mean, basically off of that tale, because Dracula as a whole is a fantastic character. The reason he became a vampire, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen Dracula Untold. Fantastic. It was an
The
underrated
Luke Evans
movie.
one?
Yeah.
I actually
Very
really like that one
underrated
too.
movie, but fantastic. It really
was very well
hold on,
done.
Hold on,
Yes.
Daniel just said fantastic and movie in the same sentence.
Yes.
It's a really good movie.
was.
I didn't hear good reviews about it at all. I haven't seen it, so
Well,
now I
a
have
lot
to go
of-
down and see it.
and
I
own
have
it.
to see this
I
now.
own it if you want to borrow it.
I think that's another one you have to see the unrated version.
It
though.
really is fantastic because not only we have the Dracula story, but they also incorporated Nosferatu into it. And it is a story about Vlad the Impaler, who wants to save his wife and takes on vampirism and has to complete this quest to save his wife's life. And unfortunately, due to events, he falls short at the last second. Literally at the last second. But it's such a compelling story because you can see how he falls and becomes this character. And then his heart is destroyed and he becomes this, personification of evil. And I've always seen Dracula not as this vicious character. We see vampires now, and they're this weird caricature of a bat with fangs, and when they change,
Or they sparkle.
thanks to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and stuff like that, it's just really not what I envision when I see Dracula. Most of the things like with Castlevania and stuff like that, Dracula is looks human, and has this
he's
aura.
very methodical.
Yeah, has this aura where he attracts people, male or female. He's commanding. He has a presence, and you can see this in this character because he's a king. He's a friend, and people are still willing to follow him even after he's turned to darkness.
See, and that's what I really liked about that movie.
And so and that's so amazing about a villain or a character, and especially with this character, how they do that is the way he fell. He became this character. His heart's broken. He embraces who he is, and I wish it would have done well because they set it up for a sequel.
Well, didn't they originally set it up to be part of the Dark Universe?
No, this was before that.
Oh.
This was what, 2015, 2014?
2014.
I think. And I wish they would have used this to start it out, other than the Mummy, because it would have been fantastic. But because he finally becomes a vampire, because he fails at his thing, Nosferatu is released because he's trapped. And so,
Spoilers.
well, it's old. Anyways,
It's a 3-year-old movie.
I'm just saying. Well,
I'm gonna see it.
that's part of the bargain. So it's not like I'm giving away anything. But but at the very end, you see it's modern day, and they sit down. Both of them sit down at a table and they have a conversation, and you're just like, I want to see the sequel now. Just because they set it up so well.
Now,
Well, and what was
will
that?
we ever see a sequel? Is there any chance of that?
Probably not.
No, it didn't do well, and which is too bad.
Do well. It cost $70 million and made $217 million.
Yeah, because they didn't see it as a success.
I call that a success.
I think it's a success. It was.
If I spent
fantastic.
$70 million and I made $217 million.
I
What
know
was
people
the
that
I
were complaining.
Frankenstein? Is
I love
the-
that one too.
I love
That
that
was
one
a
too.
fun one. That was a real fun one.
And I thought they were originally going to have those two come together or have it be part of the underworld world,
Yeah.
which would have been really, really fun.
That one I went in because I heard again another one.
Yeah, I
like
heard it was
the
horrible.
Dracula. I heard all these bad things, and then I went in and said, "I'm like, this is actually pretty fun."
That's the
I'm
thing
not
is
saying
that
good. I'm saying
It's
it
not
was
fun.
really
Yeah,
fun.
It's
Yeah.
not a great movie,
Like it was
No.
a compelling. It was.
but it was
an-
fun. It was
Yeah.
a good. It was kind of like sitting down and watching Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest story in the world.
You're
but
not
it's
going to
that's the
see
thing, if you go
Shakespeare.
in
You're
there-
going to be
yeah,
entertained.
it's a fun.
And if you go in there without any expectations because you've heard stuff, I mean, sometimes you enjoy a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. So
And then there's Young Frankenstein, which is just a classic.
That's why I'm going in with no
Walk this
expectations
way.
for this new Justice League. Nothing. I'm just like
I haven't watched any more of the trailers.
yeah,
I'm
I
going in
have
to
some
expect it to
opinions
suck,
about that.
and hopefully
I have some
be higher.
opinions, and we can talk about that off air.
No,
But-
what we need to do is we need to do a Justice League teaser show.
Maybe
teaser show.
just before. Anyways, so
The
that's
teaser for the
who
teaser.
I would say is my king of all monsters, just because Dracula is a commanding character.
What do you think of
and so forth.
the Coppola version with Gary Oldman?
So with that's the one with
That's the
Van
early
Helsing and
90s.
that.
Yeah. If I remember correctly,
Yeah.
what's his face is Van Helsing, and then
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is.
no, Anthony Hopkins.
Okay. Wasn't Gary Oldman also the vampire?
No,
in Van Helsing?
No.
I thought you were supposed to not be the horror movie buff.
I think he is.
Okay, here's the thing. I am a horror movie buff when it comes to certain types of movies.
Good movies?
Yes, usually good movies. I
Okay,
like
fair
a
enough.
little bit of entertainment and I like a little bit of story. Now, the minute you do it just to scare me, hell to the hell no.
Oh no, it isn't Gary Oldman. It's the guy that plays Severus Snape.
Yeah.
Is the guy that's in is the vampire
No,
Dracula in
no,
Van Helsing?
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
It's not Alan Rickman.
No, not Alan Rickman.
Severus Snape is Alan
Not,
Rickman.
not Snape.
How come you guys aren't talking about Dracula
not
Dead and
Snape.
loving it yet?
What's his name? It's the one that gets burnt or not burnt. That's Harry's godfather.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
That is not I'm going to look this up because I pinky promise, cross my heart, hope to die, stick a cupcake in my eye. You're wrong.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see. So Ashley's looking that up because I do believe it is Gary Oldman.
It's not.
Ooh.
Okay, we'll find out.
Challenge extended.
Challenge being worked on.
Because he was also the guy that was in Fifth Element. That was the bad guy in Fifth Element, and that's Gary Oldman, isn't it? Yeah.
It's Richard Roxburgh. Bruv.
That's Dracula.
Yes. I was right. You were wrong.
Daniel
That's
schooled.
Okay. That's okay. I haven't seen it in a while. All right.
Your
either way.
argument is invalid.
That's okay.
Defeat.
Going back to my original question. Now we're talking the early 90s. Gary Oldman. Anthony Hopkins is Van Helsing.
I don't think I've seen that one. It's because it has Anthony Hopkins in it.
I don't think I've seen it either.
Boys!
Yeah, and I still probably won't see it because it has Anthony Hopkins in it.
What's wrong with Anthony Hopkins?
Oh, so much. However,
See, and here's
You
the
see,
thing.
almost
you
out of
beat
time.
him down, and now he's anti-Anthony.
no,
Well-
I always have. I've never been a fan of him,
Well, and here's the thing about...
and I really struggle with him in Westworld.
That's
I don't
actually-
know what
I
that
just, and he's even in the new Transformer movie. He was the weak spot in the Mask of Zorro. The
I
Zorro
love
movies.
Zorro.
Really?
I really feel like
I
he
liked
is
him in
he-
Zorro.
I like
He's
him
not
as Zorro,
believable
too.
as Zorro. He isn't. You know, he really isn't.
But Antonio Banderas
Antonio
is so
Banderas
sexy.
as
Antonio's
Zorro
good.
is believable.
He's a DILF.
You know, he is. Catherine Zeta-Jones is believable. The villain they have in there is believable. Anthony Hopkins as a Spaniard, not believable. Anthony Hopkins has not played a part that I've ever seen that I can believe him as that character.
Does that include Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
what the...
okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
And
You
I-
do realize
and
how
I'm
old I was
sure-
when that came out.
I am sure he is a fantastic actor. He is just not an actor that I can get. He's like Will Ferrell. I just don't enjoy those movies.
You see,
I
now
hate
Daniel
Elf.
hates everything. You see what
I
you're
do
doing?
not
I
hate
hate
everything.
This is what you're doing. You're turning him evil again.
I don't hate everything.
You beat
You
him
do know
down
who
with
you're
one
talking
fact,
to.
and now
Hey.
he was talking about good things. He was excited about movies.
But hey,
Hey, I
but
even
going
said
back
Pacific
to Van
Rim is
Helsing,
awesome.
going back
let's
to
hear.
Van Helsing,
Tell me about
though,
Dracula Untold again. I want to hear Daniel positive
But no,
before
going,
Mackenzie beats him up again.
I'm sorry, you can't handle the fact that a woman was right.
No, I.
Oh, I don't
that's
mind
fine
that you're a woman
right.
or a man if you're right. All I care about is you're beating Daniel down and now he's cranky again. That's what I care about. That's the topic of conversation.
Isn't it more fun that way?
Daniel is the king of monsters because as soon as he gets mad, everything's bad. The world burns.
But seriously, Van Helsing, I think, was supposed to be the start of something too. The Hugh Jackman movie.
Oh, yeah. I was
well-
really excited about that from the trailers,
Yeah,
and it just kind of...
I don't know. I think
It was very
I think-
lackluster, but I still love it.
I think they were trying to do something, but again,
It was better than League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
yes, it was.
Everything's better than that movie.
Yeah.
No offense, Sean Connery.
Universal
We love you,
has a
Sean.
problem, and I don't even think this dark universe they're trying to kick off is going to work. I really don't, because
It already failed, didn't it, technically?
The Mummy was horrible. I have watched it.
I haven't.
Did you want to gouge your eyes out?
So here's my view on it. Real quickly, I think it would have succeeded if they didn't have Tom Cruise as the main character, because he was not believable
Oh, no.
at all.
The minute I heard they were taking it out of, like, the 1920s,
I was fine where they put it.
I wasn't.
because they even they alluded to the Brandon Fraser.
Oh, did
films. They did because they had the Book of Amun-Ra there.
interesting.
That
Whoa,
was
hold up,
saved.
really?
Yeah.
So it actually is in the same universe?
Uh huh.
No.
Yes.
Interesting.
So they do allude to it. You have Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde in there, which is played by
Russell Crowe.
Russell
isn't
Crowe. He did a fantastic job. The
See, I
gal
heard he's
playing
one of
the
the good-
mummy, it was a little odd, but still believable.
Okay.
What wasn't believable was Tom Cruise. He had this one-night stand with this gal, saves her because she's on the plane and blah, 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 saves her from dying, and then she comes in and says, thank you for giving me the last parachute. And he's like, I didn't know it was the last one. Kind of self-serving. But then he sacrifices himself at the very end to save her.
So wait, does that mean he's not coming back?
No, he's immortal now.
That's way worse.
He stabs
Tom
himself
Cruise that
with
can't
he
die.
stabs himself with the dagger of Anubis, and he's now immortal and running around. Has the power of a god, pretty much. He brings his buddy that died back to
I
life.
believe the phrase I'm looking for is WTF.
But the thing is, he's not believable. There's weird, awkward scenes where this woman has died.
That is awkward.
And he's sitting here debating because if he kills himself, he gets all this ultimate power and he can save her. It doesn't.
It sounds like a Romeo and Juliet ripoff.
It was so weird. None of the scenes he was in felt real. I didn't feel any emotion coming from him. I didn't feel any connection to his character. And that just kept pulling me out of the movie, and I think that's why it failed. Everyone went in there, and no one could connect with that character. And that's when you know you've failed.
Well, and let's be honest, everybody connected with the Brendan Fraser character.
Well,
because
yes.
he was-
Oh yeah.
Because he
He was
was macho, but he was... I mean,
Funny.
there's that scene where the mummy jumps in his face, and he just screams back at it.
And then he runs away.
And he runs away.
It's so great.
But everyone could relate to that character. Where it's like, yeah, I'd scream and I'd run after I wet my pants. But you could relate
and same
to
thing
that.
with the girl. I mean,
Yeah,
Rachel
everyone
Weisz.
could relate to
Yeah.
those characters. Even
When she
even
destroys the
scared guy,
library.
John.
Oh yeah, I love that.
What's
scene.
John's last name?
Hannah?
Yeah, John Hannah's character. You could relate to that guy. Every character in that universe, in those movies, you could relate to. Even if you wanted them to die, like Benny.
Oh, Betty
Yeah.
was so annoying.
That
But
was
let's
such
be
a
honest.
horrible death.
Yeah, that
But
was.
it was deserved.
But
Yeah,
that was
but
the thing.
still.
You couldn't connect to Russell, you could connect to Russell Crowe's
Oh, that brings back memories.
characters, but you
actually.
couldn't connect to Tom Cruise's character.
If it means anything, what's the movie that just barely came out? The Live, Die, Repeat. Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow.
Like that one, I honestly felt the exact same way. Like I couldn't connect to him, but he wasn't the main character that I cared about. It was Emily Blunt's character.
And that movie is one of the few Tom Cruise movies I like. And
Because
the
he dies
reason
all the time.
the reason for it is he keeps
doesn't dispute
dying
it.
so much that there isn't a connection to that character. The connection is, okay, what's going to happen next now he's dead? It's that groundhog effect. That's why you're connecting in because, okay, what's he going to do next? What's he going to do next? That's what's keeping you connected into that story. If you actually look at his acting, it's horrible.
Oh yeah.
It really is. Emily Blunt is fantastic. All the other people circling around
love
him,
Emily Blunt.
even Clancy
She was so
Brown,
amazing in that movie.
is amazing.
I bought it. I've never watched it.
Oh, it's worth it.
But
Like tonight.
somewhere.
it
don't
did
go to
so
sleep.
well that it did so. I don't know if it did well, but they had to change the name.
To Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're making a sequel.
They are making a sequel. Have
Yeah.
they announced that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, which makes me wonder how they're going to pull that one off. But anyways, he's just an actor. Again, another actor I just can't connect with.
So hold on. Are we saying that your king of all monsters is actually Tom Cruise?
Maybe-
He is
maybe-
so horrible.
Maybe we should change it to that. It is Tom Cruise because he's so horrible at acting that he can't even save a movie.
He can't even save himself.
Yeah. See, I
like
don't
those-
even like. I don't like Top Gun.
I like Mission Impossible.
I hate those movies.
Didn't enjoy them at all.
I don't enjoy them.
But I love
because
Simon
of him.
Pegg.
Oh yeah, I
But
love Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg is great.
A very
Jeremy
relatable
Renner
actor.
is great. All the other characters, great. Tom Cruise. It's like every time he comes on screen, check out because I can't connect to his characters. You know the second one where he's up there and he gets the phone call and he's hanging. He has no ropes and he's free climbing.
And
it's like-
newer ones.
I'm just like, what? And then at the end where he's fighting Douglas Dugray, and they're on the bikes doing the weird fighting, shooting.
Oh.
It's like,
I have a fun fact about that movie.
You
You might know this fun fact.
Yes.
Did you know that Dougray Scott was supposed to be Wolverine, but because of Mission Impossible 2, he was not able to take that character?
Yep. Yeah. And Hugh Jackman got it instead.
But here's the thing, I cannot picture Dougray Scott.
I can't picture anyone other than Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is
he did it fantastic.
that role.
But we're gonna have to get a new Wolverine eventually.
Yeah.
You know what would be interesting is if instead of redoing Wolverine, if they did like X-23, which they kind of alluded to in that last
You're
movie.
right. However, just this year in comics, they brought Wolverine back from the dead. He's been dead since 2014. They brought him back to life.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was back to life.
Yep, he is back to life. So, he lost his healing factor. He's dying from that. And then he pretty much suffocated. And
Because
after he got
X-23,
dunked into adamantium, and X-23 took up the mantle of Wolverine.
which was awesome.
But now he's back from the dead, and he looks just fine and healthy. So what's going to happen to X-23? I don't know.
So basically, all we need to do is,
Find the Fountain of Youth for Hugh Jackman.
or
Yeah,
just
not
make
gonna
him.
happen.
We'll just make a couple of his movies flop, so he's hurting for money. Then he has to take on this role. Well, I guess we'll pay you for it.
Yeah.
Dude, that kind of already happened.
I don't know.
Really?
All right. Well, we're out of time. So this is our King of Monsters. Let us know what yours are. Drop a comment. on
Wait,
the
so
show.
who's your final King of Monster? Daniel?
It's still
Dracula.
Dracula.
Still Dracula, not
Yeah.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still sticking with Stephen King's original Pennywise from
Awesome.
the book.
Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Okay.
So we got Wolfman, Dracula, and Pennywise.
And some
Poor
clown.
Frankie didn't get any
Yes!
love.
All right, that's okay. Frankie doesn't normally.
True.
He goes to Hollywood. All right, so we're out of here. We'll catch you next time.
You're listening to Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Please subscribe and follow them on Facebook or Twitter, precious. No, we're even promoting these filthy idiots. Who doesn't like them? Who doesn't like anyone? No, they're our friends, precious, our friends. No, shut up. Please subscribe.